Thank you for staying with us. We have Bakare Mubarak. Now, he has been named the tallest model in Sub-Saharan Africa, the co-founder and CEO of Expedition 54 Limited. It's great to have you. You are welcome.
It's a pleasure.
You really are the tallest. Have you gone around to ensure that you're the tallest model?
Well, you see, in 2016 thereabouts, 2020 actually, when I was 20, you know, I was the same height with the tallest model in the world at the time, Evelyn Eve, and then that record switched, I think 3 years afterwards, and I'd grown taller as well. And the record switched to Ekaterina Lysina, that happens to be the tallest model in the world, and doubles with the record of the tallest limb in the world as well. And I happened to be the same height with the person.
Yeah, but how is that being growing up? You know, being tall, and you know, sometimes you get that, you know, a certain vibe. Tell us about it.
So it's a roller coaster of, you know, emotions, experience, and whatnot. Bittersweet, I'll say. You know, I could remember the bullying part of it. Every time there was this particular senior, I would not want to mention names, you know, but then it was very cruel. You know, it was going to tell me not to ever go, like not to ever be taller than he is when he's having conversations with me, and I should not be shorter than he is.
Wow.
So I had to like condescend, you know. It was, you know, I had a lot of people who bullied me because I was bigger in size than they were back in the days.
What's your height now?
I'm just 6'9".
Just 6'9".
Just 6'9".
Wow. Wow.
Okay, so let's. How did you get into modeling? How did it start for you? Did you? I would have thought basketball.
Right.
But you're doing modeling. Did you ever try basketball at some point?
Well, in all honesty, I did. Not professionally.
Okay.
I was training at the time. You know, thanks to my brother, he paid for, you know, he paid my coach to coach me while I was in my 3rd year in school. You know, but you know, juggling, photography. I beg your pardon, modeling. Basketball, I beg your pardon, with schooling at the time. Like I said, I was in my 3rd year in school then. It was not very, it was not a bed of roses, and I thought, you know, and then at that point in time, I started having a mind of my own. And I realized that it is stereotypic to think every tall boy must play basketball. Then I decided to like use my entire embodiment to preach that, you know, that every tall boy do not need to play basketball to be great. We could be iconic doing every other thing except aside playing basketball. And then, you know, people look at the creative part, the lucrative part of basketball, and they say, oh, you should be making millions in the NBA. And, you know, the truth is some people built that sport and made it that lucrative, you know, blood, sweat, and so much they put into that endeavor, you know, to make it that lucrative. Yeah. So why don't we build other things as well?
Right.
Right.
You have transversed through different cultures and, you know, tribes. You've had quite an amazing African journey. You want to share some of that with us? Well,
yes. So the very first thing I say to anybody I meet is that Africa is the cradle of humanity. You see, but then unfortunately for us as young people of today, we have, you know, we do not understand these things because we don't connect with our history, you know, and just like an advisor of mine would say that whoever lost his history has lost his compass. And what happens when you lost your compass? You are lost in the wilderness. So in a nutshell, I think going back the memory lane, you know, history has proven that over and over again. Take, for instance, the university. You know, university education was literally founded by Mansa Musa, you know, in Egypt back in the days. Look at the concept of emojis that we now use today. Right. It was, you know, it's an inspiration from the Egyptian hieroglyphics. So we trust me, we would not live here if we start talking about these things, you know. And personally, I think we should come back to a cultural-based system as Africans. Right.
I like that.
So, but you also, where have you been around the continent, and how has it been, you know, being a model in Africa?
I've been to only 7 countries in Africa, but I intend to do all 54 African countries before I clock 45.
Oh, yeah, you know, 45.
Right, and you see, Africans, one thing I always say is that Africans are very hospitable. You know, unlike the whole, what the media has done to us, you know, the media propaganda, you know, the Western media most especially, Africa is one of the most genuine continents on the planet, you know, and you see, you can bear me witness that an average African would literally spare his own meal to a visitor who has come to visit. Yes.
Which Africa?
Literally, growing up in my own house,
okay.
when people come, domestic workers, my mom feeds them, regardless of the fact that they had paid them for their job. That is so.
We can be hospitable.
Absolutely, we are very hospitable.
Yeah.
I can confirm that. You know, by virtue of my endeavor, and you know, it's we are very, very hospitable set of people.
Okay.
Right.
Great. Now let's talk about your projects. You have this project coming up where, I mean, you have a company that you run that brings businesses together across Africa, and which is in line with the recent project that you're doing. So you want to tell us about that?
Absolutely. So what brought about that drive is the fact that, you see, the extent to which the damage has been done to our reputation as Africans is a whole lot. You know, the media and even ourselves at times, you know, lack of consciousness, and by virtue of that, we, you know, it's a mindset, literally, and we looked at it and we thought we could change that narrative, especially when it comes to business. You know, a lot of people are paranoid of Africans, you know, when it comes to business dealings. But the truth is, the world craves Africa. You can tell by virtue of our music industry, the film industry, and the likes, you know. And it has always been like that. So by so doing, people want to connect with us. People want to do businesses with us. You know, Fanti just came into Nigeria, yes, and a couple other African countries.
True.
There are tons of...
Regardless of the reputation that we have.
Absolutely. They're still very genuine people. They're still very fantastic people you could do businesses with. And the truth is, Africa is a gold mine. When I mean gold mine, not literally, but Africa is... Take, for instance, the real estate industry. You know, the real estate market in Africa is like over $9 trillion. That's a whole lot. Huge. Yes, so everybody is trying to tap into all of this. So we want to say to the world that Africa is genuine. You can still find great people to connect with. So the vanguard of our endeavor at Expedition 54 is bringing about a platform that connects and integrates African businesses with the world, whilst laying particular emphasis on African diaspora businesses. What
was your interest? I mean, you have a foundation of modeling, and then now you're going into bringing businesses together. I mean, like, that's a total digress. I'll
tell you a secret, right? You see, modeling was not the ultimate. Rather, it was a deployment strategy to position myself for global opportunities. You see, I learned at a very young age that I need to have a deployment strategy. We need to, you have to be focused at the same time. So a lot of people do not know. They think Mubarak is just a tall model. They don't realize there's quite a number of other things as well, you know, like the business part, and, you know, quite a number of other engagements, like the speaking engagement and whatnot. But then it's unveiling, a step at a time.
You love to talk.
I do love to talk.
How far do you expect to take this? Say 5, 10 years. What's the ultimate goal? How far do you expect to take this?
Well, to just keep it a little bit simple, I often say that I want to be a name that comes to mind wherever and whenever Africa is mentioned. You know, that's a pretty huge goal. I know, but of course it's attainable. And I do not have caution to optimism. I believe it can. We can always achieve that, you know, and the ultimate is, my watchword is impact. So I love to be impactful. Like I said, this was all deployment strategy to position for global impact.
All right.
Right.
Thank you very, very much. Right now, we have to head over to the kitchen because we want to make sure that you're...
I'd love to join you. I love to eat food as well.
Oh, great. What's your favorite meal?
Well, I love to eat... I'm an African man. I love to eat pounded yam a lot. But
pounded yam. Okay, amongst all the African countries you traveled, which did you...
Trust me, I love shito so much.
Everyone loves
Ghana,
shito.
And I love nyama choma mbuzi from Kenya, East Africa. Literally, it's fantastic.
Well, we have something more interesting.
Let's do this.
So please, after you.
Right.